Welcome to Behind the Catch Fence. I'm your host, David Hoffman. Happy Friday to those watching on a Friday. For NASCAR fans, you've probably seen the infamous Kasey Kahne Friday meme on social media. Well, who better to have on the show than the man himself? Fresh off his first Xfinity Series start in a number of years, we're joined by one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers, Kasey Kahne. Kasey, how are you doing today on Kasey Kahne Friday?
Yeah, I'm doing good. We're just kind of preparing our sprint car stuff, getting ready to go racing again. We took a month off from high limits, and yeah, we're gonna go to Port Royal tomorrow night, do that race, and then get started with high limits again next Wednesday and Texarkana and go from there. So yeah, things are good.
Great to hear. And obviously, it's kind of weird how a simple meme could turn into a whole big thing. I'll start off the bat. We can get rolling with the other fun racing stuff. But, what are your thoughts on Kasey Kahne Friday? And, just what were your initial reaction to seeing, just such a random thing like that?
Yeah, it was just the first time I saw it, I was just kind of laughed, and then I saw it again and again, and it just kept going. So yeah, it's turned into a something that I see pretty often now, and it's yeah, I really like it. The song, and the race wins, and just how it's edited. It's pretty cool. It makes me yeah, it makes me smile, and it's fun to see some of those memories that I don't ever see. I don't, but I enjoy watching it here and there for sure.
Obviously, you guys have been able to make a little bit of merch out of it as well. So kind of a win-win on both sides.
Yeah, we thought it would be fun to throw something out there, with doing that Xfinity race and yeah, so it just kind of all went together and the Friday deals, yeah, it's good.
And it obviously blew up last week a little bit more because your Rockingham start, first time in a couple of years you've been in an Xfinity car or a NASCAR garage. Since it was a couple of years, how much of a relearning curve was that for you? I know you had like a little bit of a test session before, but how was it just to kind of go through the motions of a typical weekend?
It was really good. It was really normal. Felt really normal, just how it had in the past, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the driving. I enjoyed the fans were unreal. The support there at the track, plus on social media and things. So it was, yeah, overall, it was just a really fun, enjoyable, you know, lead up to the race, and then the race was good. I mean, we didn't get the result we wanted with, tearing the front end up, but other than that, everything was, it was a really solid weekend and solid race. RCR brought a great car, solid team, like just I had family and friends that hadn't been to a NASCAR race in a while. So yeah, it was pretty cool to be part of that. And man, I was so excited leading into the Friday practice, Saturday qualifying, Saturday race, and it all, yeah, it all lived right up to what I was expecting, and just really enjoyed it.
And you go from, a sprint car, which is maybe max 50 laps at Knoxville, and then you go to, an Xfinity car and just the more endurance type of vibe with that. I mean, as after the race, how were you feeling afterwards? And, if you were to do more races, what do you feel you would have to do to make sure you're as, I guess, in pristine condition to do that again as possible?
Yeah, so I felt good. It was, just it was hot out, and that extra heat. Those cars are always hot. Um, from the sprint car stuff. So yeah, that was different. The length of the race, the yellows, the cautions, they just carried on and on at times. And so the length of the race was there. And then some of those red flags really, I was like, in the past, that'd be a lot for me, but I recovered really quickly and was recovering under those reds. So by the end of the race, I felt really good again. And but yeah, it wasn't too bad. Overall, it was hot and something I hadn't done in 7 years, so just a different change of pace. But if I did it again, which I would enjoy doing another show like that for sure, but if that opportunity came up, then I would look much closer into the cool shirt. I wore one like towards the end of my full-time career, and it malfunctioned and didn't work. So I was just kind of worried about that. But today they say you know, they trust him a lot more. I think they've done a lot more work with him. So I would figure out how to make that, a high priority to wear one of those shirts. I think that would help a ton. And yeah, and just go from there.
And you always hear, people talk about when they either go back to an old workplace or their high school or something like that. When they go back, it feels different or it feels smaller or something like that. Just, I mean, being back at a NASCAR track and going through the motions of a typical weekend, just how would you describe those feelings of being around something that was your element for so many years?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I mean by just very normal, like very I, how I remember it. I think what was cool about it too is, sometimes Xfinity races don't feel as big as Cup races when I was doing that, but doing it full time. But the that show being off the market for a while, and then what they did to lead up to it, and it just been what 9 or 12 years or 11 years, whatever it was since NASCAR had been to Rockingham. Everybody put in a great effort, and it felt more like a cup show, So the excitement was there, and there are Xfinity shows that feel like that as well. But that was one thing that made it feel really normal to me was just how excited the crowd was, the fans were, the amount of people walking around enjoying it, some of the camping, things like that. So yeah, it felt really good. And then driving the car was awesome. And you know, it was just racing at Rockingham. It was good times.
How would you compare I know obviously with the cup side of things are on to the next gen and everything else. Just, how comfortability wise was the Xfinity car compared to, I guess the Xfinity car hasn't changed too much, but was that pretty similar from what you expected going into the weekend?
Yeah, very similar. And a lot of the things was, we didn't make a qualifying run in practice because I just felt like it would be same as what it was. Doing a downforce race like that, I think would have been like 8 years ago, and just had a good mindset on where it would be. And then it was very, very close to that in qualifying. So, yeah, I just made one lap there. And I think the cars have a little more control today than what they did on a downforce track 8 years ago, but that was this minor, it wasn't a big deal. And otherwise that it was very similar. I think everything's just upgraded a little bit nicer. The parts, the pieces, the interior, where I was sitting, some of that stuff. They did just a really nice, everything's cleaned up a bit. So yeah, I felt really good with it all.
It's a pretty cool new chapter of your career. You got kids now, you're back at your roots with racing on dirt, and you have arguably the best team in sprint car racing right now. I mean, how rewarding has this chapter of your career been?
It's been really rewarding, and I think a big part of that is because Amy's so into it. Um, so she's right there with me. Anna loves it because Amy loves it, and I love it, and then Tanner loves it. So it's like, yeah, I mean, to have two kids and um, both of them be fine with traveling and having fun on the road, going different places, going to racetracks, plus cool campgrounds and water parks and things that we find along the way has been, it's rewarding to me and enjoyable at the same time. Plus, I get to do my racing still, and because I just still have a passion for that. So yeah, all that stuff is great. Brad Sweet and the Napa 49 team are off to another great start this year, and you know, doing good things. We always want to be better, but they're right there and in the whole sprint car world. And the nine, Kane's Green Print nine is very close as well with my car, my team. We've made big improvements from last year. So yeah, just it's been good. Ton of races to go, a lot of traveling to go this year, but we just want to keep, work hard at it to have our best year.
You mentioned with Brad and that team winning what, like six straight national sprint car titles. I mean, that's a hard feat in itself to do is to win one, but to go back to back and so on and so forth. What do you feel has just been the catalyst for that team in particular to keep staying ahead of the game and to keep on top?
Well, I think one thing is our preparation, from, just being prepared from a car standpoint. Our engines with Rob Capetta, our engines are really strong and very raceable, very reliable. So I think that side of things is really good, and keeps improving, and we're always trying to make that side of things better. So I'm, as far as how our cars are, but the big thing for the championships, it's people. having the right people behind you and being able to work with the right people. And then you have to have the right driver. And Brad figured out how to points race. He worked hard at it to get to that point, kept getting closer and closer to a championship. And once he figured it out, he's as good as it gets when it comes to doing that each year. And I don't see this year being any different. Like he's going to be the guy to beat all year long. And yeah, you just have to step up if you want to do it and try to beat him. So he's ready for that. So yeah, we just keep trying to keep improving on our end on the things that we can help him with. And his team's a little different this year, which is good. They have a kind of a new way to look at things and some more excitement in their team. So yeah, I feel like they're going to have a really strong year.
And you've been pretty close to, beating him a couple times this year, a pair of seconds and like at least two of the last four high limit races. How close do you feel yourself and your team are at to maybe, stick it at the Brad here and there throughout the year?
Well, we're going to keep trying, keep working at it. We definitely want to win some races. And it's nice when the race is over that I can see the 49. And if I can see him, I know I'm running up front and in a pretty good spot because he's basically top three pretty much every night. So yeah, I've been able to see him more this year at the end of the races, and we just have to keep working it to improve. But as a team, we're doing a really nice job understanding why we're getting better, and kind of working the three of us just to keep improving. And yeah, hopefully it pays off throughout the whole year.
And final couple questions. Obviously, you got the Coke 600 coming up here in about a month at this point, and you've had a heck of a lot of success there, just in that race in particular. What do you feel is I guess, the X factor in making sure you're there at the end, even though it's such a long 600 miles?
Yeah, I mean the track to me back when I had success there, it was all about keeping up with the racetrack, and it changes as the you know goes into the nighttime. It always changes. So we kind of figured that out. I figured it out as a driver and Kenny Francis with as a team. Like, so yeah, we could keep it pretty dialed in for, not worry too much about the first 300 miles and really worry about the last 300. And we were able to do it a few times. I felt like we were in contention to do it more times than that, and it just didn't happen. But everybody could probably say that. So overall, three wins at the 600 is yeah, something that I'm proud of, and our team definitely is, and we did a good job at those events over the years.
And final question for me, I mean, going back to a NASCAR track, having that experience, what do you feel as you kind of look back and you've had a couple of days to really look at it? What do you feel was the most memorable part of that weekend, for you?
Uh, so I'm really glad that I did it, and just to see my family, um, friends, uh, people that I've worked with over the last 25 years, pretty much, or 22 years, somewhere in there, 22, 23 years. Yeah, just in this sport, and to see them there, be able to have those conversations, take pictures. It's in my mind. Like I don't even have to see a picture, and I remember, both those, exactly how everything was laid out, and the enjoyment that we had, throughout the day, throughout Saturday especially, but even a little bit on Friday. And yeah, so we have that now, and it's really cool. I've enjoyed seeing the posts, and pictures, things like that on social media that fans have put out, Amy's put out, KKR Dirt's put out, NASCAR's put out, RCR's put out. Um, yeah, so I've really enjoyed all of that, and I still have some pictures that I want to put out myself. So, um, yeah, it was just fun to be with all of those people and the fans.
Well, it was a lot of fun to see you back on the NASCAR track, and hopefully I'll be able to head out to a sprint car event here soon and see you again there. But hopefully the rest of the year goes well. Maybe we reach in victory lane, topping Brad at some point. But yeah, thanks for taking the time, Kasey.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll hopefully see you at the track, and yeah, we're gonna work hard to try to top Brad here at some point. It'd be pretty fun to get in victory lane again.